ENEA goes racing in the heartland. Race number 10 from iRacing's Kansas Speedway about to get underway. Dakota Long and Perrin Huggins with control of the field coming to the green flag. Let's go racing! Long, McFadden, Huggins now sitting in that third position on the high side with Jake Prince to his inside, funneling into the first corner. Race number 10 being brought to you live right here on Rick James TV. I'm Rick James, here to bring you uninterrupted green flag coverage. Shout out to Echo, who followed just a little while ago. Dakota Long with the early advantage. He comes in with a massive points deficit heading into this 10th race. You can do the math there. Points leader Perrin Huggins coming in with 316 points to his name. Dakota Long leading this race with 275 to that 316. But you can see that minus 28. Dakota Long there suffering 28 penalty points so far in the season. If you take away those penalty points, he would only be 13 points away from Perrin Huggins in this 10th race of the season. But alas, he is 275 to Huggins 316. He is 41 points off the marker. Maybe tonight will be the night for redemption for Dakota Long. We'll see just how he gets on. 4 laps into this event, he's already getting on pretty well. Brian Tagg goes purple, 31-22. The Bush Apple Chevrolet sitting in the 15th spot. Luke Reed in the reign number 3 sitting to the inside of Matt Croakey, who switches out the Eggo Waffle colors for the Tabasco livery. Pasoko looks to the inside of Reed into that first corner. Further up ahead, French pilot Ryan Terrien in that 6. In position number 6, Pasoko gets way loose out of 2. He saves it, doesn't wreck the race car, comes back into 3 at an awkward angle. Jeff Rudick, who is having a hard time getting his car moving in one straight line in practice, now sitting 17th out of 17 drivers. Perrin Huggins now went purple. 31.08 seconds. It goes Chevy, Ford, Chevy, your top 3 in tonight's race so far. Long still leads the way. Huggins coming up in that second spot. We'll see just how far Perrin manages to stay in that second position. Long really trying the inside line there. Cody McFadden sitting in third while Jake Prince watches all of this unfold from the 4th spot. Croakey in the 0-2 now looking behind Cody B. Johnson. In the red 0-8, the 2 of Ryan Von Henschel, who started in the 8th position. Now behind Sean Anderson in the 1-3. French pilot Ryan Terrien in that 6. And Ryan Lindemann in the 5-7. Just ahead of Terrien, who's going to look to the inside of the Coors Light Chevrolet down into turn number 3. Terrien looking to crack the top 5, almost making contact with Lindo on the top side. Jacob Prince watching all of this unfold behind him to the line. Car 5-7 will beat car number 6 by 2 100ths. At the front, it's still Long. McFadden has moved into the second position. He sits on the top side and is now chasing down Dakota Long for the number 1 position. 9 laps complete. Von Henschel went green last time around, 31:30. Lindemann with a boot full of Sean Anderson under the shade of his rear spoiler into that first corner, while Ryan Terrien still holds on to the inside line. 3 guys went green last time around. Luke Reed, Michael Bennett, Brian Tagg in the 99. Bennett in the 19. New colors for him as well in the Draco Chevrolet. Tagg now looking to go to the inside. Let's ride on board with Brian. Put car 6-4 at the top of the tree. Cody McFadden getting around Cody Long, and he gets the top spot. Dakota Long now up the inside line, trying to use every advantage he can get to McFadden, but it just won't be enough. Car 6-4 just too strong, and Dakota Long now has to cope on the inside, watching the 6-4 sail away. Let's take another look at how McFadden got around Long. On the top side, using that momentum, Dakota Long scrubbing away all that speed on the inside line and possibly using more tires than he has to as well. McFadden in the 6-4 just uses the momentum on the top side, but now Long decides to inch and worm his way just a little bit closer to that 6-4 down the back straight. 14 laps into this one. McFadden in the 6-4 still has Dakota Long by a car length. Perrin Huggins watching in that 3rd position, while Ryan Terrien witnesses the action from 5th, working on 4th. And looks like Sean Anderson has filled in the position behind him, but Ryan Lindemann is one driver who's giving up all sorts of spots. He now has the 2 of Ryan Von Henschel to his inside, the Coors Light machine, making ample room for the Miller Lite Ford on the left-hand side, and here comes the Tabasco Camaro, who wants a piece of the action. 100 laps remain as Dakota Long now finds himself under siege from the 4 of Perrin Huggins, who's going to go around the top side. The Mobil 1 Ford taking over the Cheddar's Chevrolet. This the battle for the silver medal spot in the early laps in this race, and this is exactly what Cody McFadden wants to see. Just a controlled line from McFadden running away with this lead. If you can call 0.3 of a second running away. Looking further on back through the field. How about the 5-7 of Lindemann holding back Croakey and Reed? Matt and Luke, to be exact. Here comes the 0-2 of Matt Croakey. Now looking for daylight to the inside of Ryan Lindemann in the 5-7. The Coors Light Chevrolet goes to the high side. Luke Reed looks for daylight behind him, but nothing there. The 0-2 of Croakey will use the 5-7 as a pick. And the 3 of Reed looks like he's going to follow the 0-2 of Croakey. 19 laps now underway of the scheduled 115. Further on back, Brian Tagg in the 99, following Michael Bennett in that 19 car. The 5-7 of Lindemann, more like a moving chicane at the moment. Everyone trying to find their way around him, but Lindemann still using the momentum on the top side to his advantage. Bennett trying to go around the high side. Will he force the issue? He's going to try and force 3 wide. It's unnecessary. Will they survive? No patience from the 19 of Bennett. He almost gets into the 5-7. 3 wide down the front straight, and he will cut off the 5-7 into turn number 1. Dangerous moves from Mike Bennett in the 19. He's now going to cut off the 3 of Reed out of turn number 2. Reed uses the high side, but the momentum is with car 19. The Draco Chevrolet now to the inside of Matt Croakey, and 19 of Mike Bennett goes from 12th to 9th in 1 lap. Great momentum from the 19. Dangerous moves, but he made it work for him. Mike Bennett now in the top 10, up 2 places from where he started. At the front, here comes Perrin Huggins to the inside of Cody McFadden. Huggins in the 4, using the low line. McFadden in the 6-4, possibly conserving tires. Not enough for Huggins to make the overtake. 22 laps now underway of the scheduled 115. Cody B. Johnson in the 08, now working on Frenchman Ryan Terrien. Pasoko in the 2, behind the 5-7 of Lindemann. Lindemann continues to backtrack as the Werther's Original Chevrolet goes to the inside. Pasoko will have him. Rune forcing the 3 wide into turn number 3 now. Drivers being aggressive early on. Again, not required to force the issue, but Rune really trying to get a move on while the rest of the drivers are seemingly in his way. Rune to the inside of Pasoko. This is for a spot in the top 12. Tagg behind Lindemann as well. This is going to put Brian Tagg in the top 14. Ryan Lindemann will now round out the top 15. Pasoko looks like he just can't hold off Rune. That's going to put Mackenzie in the top 12. Matt Croakey in the 0-2. Watching Lucas Reed round out the top 10, 3/4 of a second ahead of him. Single file and happy gaps all the way up front. Von Henschel in the 2. Now has Anderson behind him. This is the battle for the 7th spot. At the front, McFadden still. Cody McFadden in the 6-4, leading Perrin Huggins in the number 4. Dakota Long sits in 3rd, just 0.3 of a second ahead of Jake Prince. The number 9 Napa Chevrolet creeping up to the Cheddar's number 8. Let's go on board with Prince. Cody McFadden comes into this race 5th in the points standings. He only finds himself, I believe, 26 points shy of Dakota Long. Long finds himself 8 points shy of Sean Anderson, who's running in 9th, so Long could be looking to leapfrog some points before the playoffs begin. Mike Bennett, on the other hand, has Sean Anderson behind him, and Mackenzie Roon making his way up. He's now into the top 10. He's working on Sean Anderson for the 9th position, as Anderson will be all too happy to get into the wall, give it a little scrape. The number 2 of Ryan Von Henschel now trying to hold off Bennett. Von Henschel goes all the way to the low side, trying to hold off the 19. Again, just scrubbing off more speed down the front straight. Bennett will be smooth. He's going to go 3 wide again out of the second corner. Roon will come up to the 19 car. Bennett just can't clear Von Henschel. He'll try it this time, though. 3 wide again in turn number 3. Von Henschel still holds in 7th. Tightest battle on the track right now. Mackenzie Roon running the low side. Von Henschel the top side, forcing Bennett to choose the middle. Bennett's going to slide right behind Roon. Now he's going to try behind Von Henschel. Luke Reed waiting for all of this to settle out, while the 11 Dorchester Camry holds his own in the top 8 or 9, depending on where Bennett positions himself. And Von Henschel just watching all of this unfold behind him. That's Von Henschel in the wall. You just heard him have to lift up. Try and get some semblance of grip back on that number 2 Miller Ford. At the front, Cody McFadden still leads. Dakota Long has decided to finally get the lead out. He's within 0.3 of a second to car 6-4. Jake Prince has taken over the 3rd position, and Perrin Huggins will now sit behind the number 9 Napa Night Vision Chevy. Driver starting to use the high side now, and behind Perrin Huggins, 3.5 seconds adrift, you'll find Cody B. Johnson. There goes the 08. There's Ryan Terrien. There's Von Henschel. Bennett, Roon, the rest of them. So drivers have started to spread out 34 laps into tonight's event. McFadden leads, Long behind him. And the track fact telling you drivers will be able to go between 55 and 65 laps on 1 tank of fuel. Or tires. Well, we'll see what lasts the longest. Long now trying the inside line, trying to get some sort of advantage, while Roon tries to stay off the safer barrier, getting to the inside of Von Henschel. Von Henschel trying to stay off the wall. He does so, but Roon still with the momentum up the inside. The 0-2 of Von Henschel trying to hold off Roon through 3 and 4. Mackenzie Roon is going to be in 5th as Ryan Terrien decides he's going to come down into the pits. Terrien making his way in. McFadden still leads, Long in 2nd. Perrin Huggins also decided he's going to come in, so the track backed. Not giving nearly enough to the drivers. Possibly thinking they were on a 2-stop strategy, but it looks like they're going to have more stops than that to contend with. More room for mistakes. Perrin Huggins finds himself dead last, 1 lap off the pace, while the race leader, Cody McFadden, has the 2-8 of Seth Whitworth to the inside. Dakota Long trying to use that as some sort of advantage. Long will scrape the wall trying to catch up to McFadden. Long will try the high side as McFadden goes low, and it looks like car 64 may be coming into the pits. And he will. Dakota Long will try and follow him in, try to attack pit lane. And it looks like McFadden will come in at a calm, cool 145 miles an hour, so moving at a much quicker 165 is your new leader, Jake Prince. So now it's a question of how far they'll go on one set of tires and fuel. There goes Prince, down to the inside. He comes down into the pits. Cody Johnson is now next. Johnson starting in 15th. Now up to the lead with Mackenzie Roon in the second position. All of the top four have yet to pit. And we'll see just how far they plan on stretching it. This could turn out in their favor. We'll find out what happens here. Jeff Rudick looks like he might have missed his way in. Let's see what happened to Jeff. Rudick completely missing and Jeff Rudick just forgot where the pits were. And that's going to cost him dearly. Just a rookie mistake by Jeff Rudick. Have another look. Yeah, this is Rudick coming into the pits way too hot. Just out of his depth at that point, and it's going to cost him quite a bit there. So Rudick comes down to a halt as Lucas Reed is now the new race leader, 40 laps into this race. Sean Anderson in the second position now. They have yet to pit. Perrin Huggins was one of the first drivers to pit on lap 34. Huggins will now reassume top spot. Cody McFadden behind him by 0.7 of a second, and then Dakota Long looks like he might have lost a lot of time on pit road. He's 1 second behind McFadden. He's got a lot of work to do. Sean Anderson now retakes the lead down pit road. There's Lucas Reed, who's already getting service. Perrin Huggins will come around the front straight, and he will be the new leader under this first green flag pit stop cycle. Cody McFadden now in second. Jake Prince will take over fourth in the number 9 machine. So drivers able to make it about 34 laps on one fuel run. Further on back, Matt Croakey, 1/4 of a second behind Brian Tagg. Let's go on board with the Tabasco Chevy. And Croakey on the move. He's going to go to the inside of Ryan Von Henschel. Sean Anderson just went green last time around. 31.23 seconds for Anderson. He's also going to get around Ryan Von Henschel. Perrin Huggins, still your race leader. Dakota Long has now moved into second. He's made up the gap from Cody McFadden. But what will it do to the tires? We know Long is an aggressive driver. Will he have what it takes to make it to the end? Drivers will get a total of 2 tire changes in this race. So going by the math alone, if anything's to be judged, going by the math alone, if Cody Johnson and Lucas Reed made it 40 laps on one run, as opposed to Perrin Huggins' 34 laps, Perrin Huggins is going to be able to go 12 laps fewer on one run than Reed and Johnson. Those 12 laps could make a big difference. We'll see just how far they go. 47 laps into this race. Huggins leads. Long is in second. McFadden rolling in third in the 6'4" iBuyPower Chevrolet. And 3 seconds off the podium is Jake Prince. 8.7. Almost 9 seconds behind Prince is Ryan Terrian in that number 6, who's got Mackenzie Roon creeping up on him. And then you've got this threesome of Luke Reed, Matt Croakey, and Sean Anderson running 9th, 10th, and 11th. Long now coming up behind Huggins. This is the battle for the top spot. Jeff Rudick, who had those pit stop troubles, he completely missed the entrance and cost himself loads of time. Finds himself in 16th, second to last. But for Ryan Lindemann, who finds himself 3 laps off the pace. Anderson in the 13, Lucas Reed in the 10. Just a quarter of a second separated, and then there's Matt Croakey as well. So drivers look like they're finding their stride after one green flag pit stop cycle. 50 laps into this race. Perrin Huggins leads Dakota Long. Huggins leads the points standings. However, ENEA does have playoffs, and we have 2 more weeks until we reach those playoffs. Next week, Atlanta Racing will be covering. I'm going to be in Darlington, South Carolina that Monday night. So headed into next week, it's going to be Darlington, and then the week after that will be Daytona International Speedway. We're running the oval under the lights, and those 70 laps there will carve out the 16 drivers that make it into that round of 16. Huggins, Long, McFadden. Still your top 3, and here they are clustered up. 52 laps into this 115-lap event. Dakota Long continuing to run all over the racetrack. It's going to take a lot of clever tire management if Long wants to keep that rubber underneath him. And the 6'4" of McFadden. Now on the outside, Long continuing to use up that precious Goodyear Eagle rubber, trying to hold on to second. McFadden will get around Long like he did to get first spot. 4, 6, 4, 8 now your top 3. Cody McFadden slots into the silver medal position. .53 laps now complete from iRacing's Kansas Speedway. Car 4 leading the way. The Mobil 1 Ford leads the iBuyPower Chevy. Dakota Long running in the 3rd position as well. Further on back, Lucas Reed rounding out the top 10. He's got Sean Anderson just on the tip. And we'll see how these two decide to fight it out for 9th. Ryan Lindemann up ahead of these drivers. 3 laps off the pace. He's going to need a few lucky dogs to get that taken care of. Ryan Pasoko in the incorrectly numbered 1-7 car. We apologize for that. We'll get that fixed here in just a moment. But Pasoko in the incorrectly numbered 1-7 sits in the 14th position, while the correctly numbered Ryan Von Henschel in the number 2, rocking the 13th spot. Huggins in the 4, leading McFadden in the 6-4. Long running in 3rd still. The last time Perrin Huggins pitted was lap 34. Quick math will tell you he can go to lap 68 on this run. But will he have enough tires to make it? Long trying to catch up to McFadden, desperately trying to hold on to the back of the 6-4 car. Cody Johnson in the 0-8, now catching up to Mackenzie Roon. Remember, Johnson pitted on lap 40, possibly tire conservation by the 0-8 car. Ryan Terrien up ahead in the 6. He's rounding out the top 5. The Monster Energy Ford has Roon starting to creep up within half a second. Matt Bennett now behind Matt Croakey and Luke Reed rounding out that top 10 still. There goes Roon now with a mirror full of the 0-8 of Cody Johnson. Let's go on board with the 11 Toyota. Perrin Huggins in that 4, still leading McFadden in the 64. Dakota Long running in the 3rd position. Nine-tenths now the gap between 1st and 2nd. Dakota Long rolling in 3rd. That 8 car trying to find any semblance of draft. Maybe trying to get any advantage behind the 6-4 of Cody McFadden. While further on back, Cody Johnson continues to run up the field. Let's go on board with the 0-8.
Hey, Rick James, you got a copy there, buddy?
Oh! I believe I do. Let's see. I'm being great. Oh, Nicky Simpson in the house. What's going on, Nicholas? How you doing, buddy?
Hey, what's going on? I couldn't make the race, but I wanted to pop in, see what's going on, check the race out, see how it's flowing, man. What's going on?
Perrin Huggins leads. Cody McFadden rolling in the 2nd spot, and Dakota Long sits in 3rd, Nicky. I don't know how much of the race you've been watching, but Huggins is starting to run away with this one. Before the pit stop cycles, however, Huggins will be in within the next 6 laps.
Yeah, I came in, started talking to my teammates. Looks like you've been in a lot of green flag races, a little pit strategy going on. Is that right?
Lots of pit strategy. Drivers are going to have to manage those tires to make sure they can make it all the way to the end.
Yeah, I'm watching Perrin right now. Looks like these guys aren't too far behind him, though.
Not too far behind. Coming into this pit stop cycle, McFadden only finds himself a 1/4 of a second ahead of Dakota Long. Further on back, Mackenzie Roon, Cody Johnson doing battle. Johnson is now up 9 places, working on Ryan Terrien for 5th. Seem to have lost Nicky Simpson there. No worries.
I'm here.
No, we're good. We're good. Cody Johnson sitting in 6th. Nicky, he's up 9 places. He's rocking his way through this field. Last green flag cycle, he made it all the way out to lap number 40, which means he could potentially make it to 80. And if this race does go green like it has for all 65 laps so far, Johnson could find himself in a position of advantage. You as a driver, is it more important to have the track position at Kansas, or do you want the fresher tires?
Well, it's really tough because you got to gauge your opponents in this one right here. I mean, it looks pretty spread out right now, so I think a lot of strategy is going to come into effect here, and I think it's tires, to be honest. I think you got to just watch your tires, depend on your teammates, and just make some choices. You got to live and die on the what choices you're going to make, what pit you're going to go into, because it's going to be very spread out in this race.
Now inside of the final 50 laps of action, Perrin Huggins leading Cody McFadden by 1.3 seconds, who still has Dakota Long by a couple of tenths headed into this pit stop cycle. Huggins still has not come in, but all eyes are on car number 4, waiting on his arrival into the pits. Further on back, Lucas Reed also trying to get a piece of some of the action. He finds himself just behind the 13 of Sean Anderson. This is the battle for the 9th position. And then you've got Ryan Terrien, Cody B. Johnson, Mackenzie Roon fighting for 5th, 6th, and 7th. If tires are going to be what's most important coming into this second green flag cycle, Nikki, drivers really need to watch how hard they're driving. All it takes is one mistake.
Yeah, it does. And, all could, come down crashing when they pit on those short pits there, coming into the pits real hot. If you slide through your pit, man, you're down a few more seconds. So all the seconds, all these little mistakes will really count here.
We'll see just how far they can make it. Jeff Rudick kind of put himself in the jackpot by missing that pit stop entrance. Let's have another look at Jeff. He just completely missed the entrance of pit road, and that gray 74 has cost himself a lot. Just missing the entrance by a country mile and then having to come in, possibly serving a penalty. Rudick finds himself second to last. 2 laps off the pace. Cody Johnson making great time. Luke Reed as well. How about Ryan Von Henschel now working to the inside of Mike Bennett? Nikki, these two have been doing hard battle all race long. Von Henschel almost making contact with the 19.
Yeah, Von Henschel, he seems like a newcomer to our series here. He's got a nice Miller Lite livery going on.
Shades of Kurt Busch in the number 2, and
oh yeah.
Who else drove that that Miller Lite Ford? It was Kurt Busch.
Man.
Rusty Wallace, obviously.
I mean, Rusty Wallace, he had a long time, great, but I'm trying to think of who else ran that. That's a tough one right there.
Why is it escaping? Brad Keselowski, there it is.
Yep,
I don't know why I couldn't think of him. But Brad Keselowski, Kurt Busch, Rusty Wallace have all had a piece of the Miller Ford. Just amazing history in that Miller Ford as well. Von Henschel doing it proud, running in the top 10, but Bennett now wants a piece of that top 10. Roon, on the other hand, 0.3 of a second ahead of Ryan Terrien. Cody McFadden leading Dakota Long almost by 3 seconds. Perrin Huggins has decided he'll come in again on the 69th lap of competition. He's out of the pits with fresh tires now. He extended that run by 1 more lap, but quick math will tell you, Nikki, if he can make it another 34, 35-ish laps, he's still going to be about 10 laps shy of the finish. Huggins now has to race on conservation mode, or he has to gamble on a late race yellow.
Yeah, agreed. He's in some traffic right now. He's going to slip through them pretty quickly with those fresh tires, and these guys are probably all out conserving too, so we'll see. Again, just a game of strategy right here.
McFadden still leading by 0.2 of a second. Jake Prince 0.7 behind in that 3rd spot. Mackenzie Roon 10 seconds off of the top 3. That right there just speaks to the amazing level of talent you've got on those podium positions right now. Long really trying to make up for those 28 penalty points. And to put it into perspective, the next driver that has the least amount of penalty, or the most amount of penalty points after him is Jake Baker, who's tied for 13th, and then Jeff Rudick, who's got 12 penalty points this season as well. So, definitely a lot of sins paid for with penalty points. Long's going to be feeling those 28 points as the season progresses. But right now, he's sitting in second, 0.3 off of the race leader, coming to complete 74 laps of competition. Nicky, so far, McFadden and Long have had the juice. It looks like they're going to lead this one when it comes to the end of the race. But, of course, Perrin Huggins might just be the wild card. Ryan Terrien, he's down. He's going to be away after he's got fresh tires on car number 6. McFadden down that back straight, Nicky. He's breaking away from Dakota Long.
Yeah, they're not too far apart from each other. Yeah, and I agree with you with the penalty points with Dakota there. But, we got 64 getting in the pit. Now we got Dakota out in front.
Dakota Long now your new leader as Cody McFadden will come down pit road. Jake Prince now challenging Long on the outside. Have the tires gone on car number 8? Did he stay out one lap too long? Long trying a very aggressive block on the 9 of Prince. Not going to work as Prince has the momentum. Is Long going to resign himself to pit road? He will not. He will stay out. Cars number 8 and 9 will drag race down the front straight. Jake Prince will lead this lap by 0.06 of a second. Nicky, just this right here speaks to the tires and just how drivers have conserved this rubber, because Dakota Long almost made it easy work for Jake Prince coming down that front straight. And it looks like Long now has to back off the throttle and prepare himself to enter pit road. Prince stays out. Long stays out as well, but Prince now 0.4 ahead already, one lap. And Long trying to stretch these tires out as far as he can. But if you look at the numbers, Nicky, last time around, Dakota Long 32.85, Mackenzie Roon 32.19. Roon almost 0.7 quicker than Long, and if anything, Dakota Long is just costing himself valuable time on extremely worn tires. And this right here could speak to where his finishing position will be at the end of the race. Long decides he's going to come in. He puts big smoke into the air as Jake Prince will also lock up the tires coming into the pits. And the 28 of Seth Whitworth has destroyed his pit stop entrance. Have a look at the 2.8, Nick.
Yeah, it looks like you blew that one pretty bad there, Rick. These other guys, though, I mean, you got to be careful coming in with those hot, slippery tires coming into the pit. You got to be careful because you'll catch a black flag real quick coming into the pits like that.
It happened to Rudick. It looks like it's going to happen to Whitworth. Cody Johnson, now your race leader, approaching 46 laps to go in the 10th round of competition. Sean Anderson, 8 seconds adrift in the second spot. Luke Reed currently running in the third spot as Long, Roon, Pasoko. The incorrectly numbered Ryan Pasoko in that number 2 Werther's Original Machine. Scoreboard says 17, car says 2. The correctly numbered 2 of Ryan Von Henschel looks like he might be coming down into the pits, and he will. Jeff Rudick will sail around him, and Von Henschel makes his entrance. Huggins in 4th. Last time around, 31.41. Cody Johnson, 32.70. Johnson is in. Sean Anderson last time around, 32.58. So Perrin Huggins over a second quicker. Lucas Reed trying to come down into the pits. He almost makes contact with the 13 of Anderson. Perrin Huggins now in turns 3 and 4. And with 34 laps to go, Perrin Huggins will take the race lead. Big blink by the 4 of Perrin Huggins.
Oh, we got some contact with the 3 and 13. They're going into the pits now.
Sean Anderson.
Yep,
Sean Anderson and Lucas Reed, they come to a halt. Cody McFadden now moves into the second spot. He finds himself 11 seconds off the gap of Perrin Huggins. What in the world happened here? Where does this gap come from, Nicky? 11.6 seconds?
Yeah, that's a pretty big gap. We'll see if they can close it up. I don't know. Perrin Huggins is he's going to be out there pretty far right now. Looks like he made the good choice pitting early. But these other guys are going to be a mess coming in and out of the pits. Looks like there's already been a couple accidents, a couple missed stalls. And, you know, it's going to be a pretty wide spread if we don't get a yellow anytime here soon.
But where does this gap come from? Because they were not 12 seconds apart coming into the pits, where they are 12 seconds apart now. They both have the same pit lane time. They're half a second apart for total pit lane delta, and then their pit stops time are 0.4 of a second apart. Where does Perrin Huggins get a 12-second advantage?
Yeah, that's a tough one. Maybe coming into the pits, Cody was a little slower. Maybe getting out, he was a little slower. Maybe Perrin was just came out of the pits real hot. But, you know, also the other aspect is Perrin might not be saving at all. So, I mean, he must have just came out of the pits firing on all cylinders. And he's just not conserving at all. Whereas some of these guys might jump right out of the pits, start conserving, make it to the end. I don't think Perrin's is thinking about that. He could probably go a ways, still pit in, and might still come out even with these guys if he can stretch it.
That's just a gap that's unheard of. Jake Prince getting around McFadden. Unless Perrin Huggins went for only 2 tires or he went for fuel only, but that wouldn't make sense. Last time around, Huggins 32.49, Prince 32.05, so Prince half a second quicker than Huggins. It might have been a 2-tire stop, but Huggins again 14.9 in the pit stall. Jake Prince 14.03. Huggins a second slower than Prince in the pits, but he comes out with a 12-second advantage through that green flag cycle.
Yeah, we'll just have to ask him after the race if he's on the podium, or we'll pull him in maybe on a caution if we ever see one, see what the strategy is.
Cody McFadden currently sitting in third. Dakota Long, the big loser in that pit stop cycle. His total pit lane time, 44.7, although Cody Johnson ahead of him just went green, 31.1 seconds. Quickest personal lap for Cody Johnson. Huggins leading still. 11 seconds now, the gap back to Prince, who's got Cody McFadden behind him by 3/4 of a second inside the final 30 laps of competition. Huggins, Prince, McFadden, your top 3. 1 Ford, 2 Chevys on the podium as it stands. Lucas Reed rounding out the top 10, 1 second ahead of Mike Bennett. Ryan Von Henschel now trying to catch up to the incorrectly numbered Ryan Pasoko in the number 2 Werther's machine. Despite the wrong number on that car, Pasoko getting around Cody McFadden. Pasoko last pitting on lap 77, McFadden last pitting on lap 75. Here goes Von Henschel to the inside of car 6-4. Man, he really stressed that moment right there. Huggins.
Well, we got the 2 coming by Cody McFadden there. Looks like there's going to be a lot of intertwining of the lap cars and guys with fresh tires. But, Rick, I'm going to have to step off here. Good luck the rest of the raceway, and hopefully there's some cautions, get some tighter racing going on. All right, buddy?
Thank you so much for coming through, Nicky. Enjoy the rest of the show. Have a good one, bud.
Hey, I'll see you next week, guys.
Driver of the number 46, 1 Nitro, Nick Simpson, joining the booth tonight. Always a pleasure to have friends alongside me. Perrin Huggins still leads. We're going to have to find out just where this time came from. 9.60 seconds. Now the gap, 26 laps now remain in the heartland. Huggins, Prince, McFadden, your top 3. Prince 1.7 seconds ahead of Cody McFadden. Ryan Terrien 2.7 seconds off the podium. And Dakota Long 7 seconds off the podium. Long last pitting on lap 78, trying to make these tires last all the way to lap 115. We're now inside the final quarter. 25 will become 24 laps to go this time by. On board with Perrin Huggins. 23 this time around. 7 seconds the gap between Huggins and Prince. Looking at the last 5 laps, Prince has been 1 second quicker than Huggins. And you've just got to think, was it fuel only for Huggins? Is he saving 1 set of tires for the end? Was it only right or left sides for Huggins? But where does that time come from? Perrin Huggins spending 15 seconds in his pit stall last time around to get a 12-second advantage, where Jacob Prince was 14.03 seconds. We're going to have to ask him how these numbers add up. This last time around, Huggins, 32.35. Jacob Prince will cross the line. 31.76, 0.6 of a second quicker for Jake Prince. And Cody McFadden quicker than Jake Prince. As the math goes, Prince will catch Huggins before this one is over. 21 laps to go this time by, so now it's a race against time and a race against the tires. Rune on the outside of Cody Johnson. This is the battle for 4th. And Brian Tagg in the double 9 now working on Sean Anderson for the 8th position. And the Bush Apple Chevrolet trying to get further into that top 8. Cody Johnson barely holding off Mackenzie Rune, but Johnson finds himself 9/10 off of the podium positions, while Jake Prince is now within 5 seconds to race leader Perrin Huggins. Coming to 18 laps to go. Huggins will have to hold off Prince something fierce. As the old adage goes, it's one thing to catch him, it's another thing to pass him. Rune working on Johnson. Further on back, the incorrectly numbered Ryan Pasoko being scored as the 17, but has the erroneous number 2 on the right side of his car, passing the correctly numbered Ryan Von Henschel. Once again, we apologize for Pasoko's mistake. We'll make sure that doesn't happen next week, so the scoring and the timing will be correct as you see it on your screen. Von Henschel in the top 30 dozen, holding off Pasoko, who's in lucky number 13th position. 2/10 separate these drivers, coming to 17 laps to go. Cody Johnson working the outside of the 6'4 of Cody McFadden. Mackenzie Rune, who's in 5th, he can get to 3rd if he can get around Cody Johnson. He's working on McFadden in the 6'4. The Dorchester Camry now running down that back straight, trying to catch some of the draft of the 08 car, and he will now go to work from the 4th position, chasing down Johnson for the bronze medal. Pasoko and Von Henschel continue to do battle. Perrin Huggins watches Jacob Prince creep up. It will be 15 laps to go. Huggins comes into this race with a substantial lead in the points. 10 markers back to Jake Prince in that 2nd position. Huggins trying to come down into the pits. He's missed his pit stall. Perrin Huggins on a 3-stop strategy has missed his pit stall. Huggins has cost himself the race. The mistake of the season. Huggins now coming to a halt. What is he thinking at this point? Is he quitting the race? Perrin Huggins misses the pits and he's quit. He's quit the race. You have got to be kidding me. Watch Perrin Huggins. Only 12 cars, no, less than that. 6 cars on the lead lap. Perrin Huggins will miss his pit stall. Have a listen. Possibly not enough fuel. He's missed the pit stall altogether. Perrin Huggins will then come to a halt as he's thrown away the race. And he's... Is he still in the pits? He's being scored as in the pits, but we can't see him on the racetrack. Huggins has quit with 15 laps to go. Perrin Huggins has quit the race. He has thrown in the towel and given up. Huggins waves the white flag and he decides to quit with 15 laps to go. Cody Johnson now in second. Mackenzie Roon sitting in third. And Jake Prince with a 2-second advantage coming to 11 laps to go. You're now watching the battle for the second position. We were just talking about Perrin Huggins with a 10-point advantage in the regular season championship. Coming to... I'm flabbergasted. Huggins has decided to throw in the towel. 12 cars on the lead lap, and Huggins has decided to quit. Prince now with I can't believe this. Jake Prince leading Cody Johnson with 1.9 seconds down the back. 10 remaining and 9 at the line. Roon now working the back end of Johnson. Mackenzie Roon slots into the silver medal position now. The 11 Dorchester Camry moves into the second spot. Cody Johnson now sitting in third. It's Jake Prince's race. 2 seconds the gap, but how has that gap changed over the last 5 laps? And there you see Prince just slowly running away from Roon. Silent. Into the corner. Prince, is he trying to save fuel? Let's ride on board with the 9. Cutting off the engine, trying to save all the gas he can. Running into the corner is Roon on the same strategy. Have a listen going into 3. Roon is not saving fuel. He also pitted on lap 78 with Jacob Prince coming out of turn number 4. The gap now 1.4 seconds. 5 to go. This time by Jake Prince, Mackenzie Roon, 1-2. Cody Johnson watching them sail off together. Ryan Terrien now working the inside of the incorrectly numbered Ryan Pisoko. And the car with the wrong number on the side, being scored as car 17, will now move into 11th. Mike Bennett sailing away from Brian Tagg in the 8th position. 1.2 seconds the gap. Mackenzie Roon has Ryan Terrien in the way. Will car number 6 become an obstacle for car number 11? Well, he's there. He's forcing the 11 to think about it. But the 6 will stay out of the way. And there is the gap. 1.4 seconds coming to 4 laps to go. And there it is. Last time around. Roon almost 3/10 quicker than race leader Jake Prince. Now on lap 111. Roon 3/10 slower than Jake Prince. Terrien really affecting Roon's line, and that may very well help Jake Prince. Prince now trying to get around the incorrectly numbered Pasoko. And the 9 to the inside. Putting Pasoko 1 lap down. 3 laps to go in the Heartland. Dominant race leader, points leader, Perrin Huggins takes the easy way out. He throws in the white flag and decides to quit this race after making a mistake, handing the race lead to Jake Prince. Mackenzie Roon 1.9 seconds out from the leader with 3 miles to go in this race. Points will be shaken up big time. Perrin Huggins may have thrown away the regular season championship. And what implications is that going to have in the rest of the season too? Prince, Roon, Johnson, 40 seconds off Roon. And unless Prince makes a mistake, this could be his race. But we don't expect Prince to quit if he makes a mistake. White flag is out for car number 9. Jake Prince leading Mackenzie Roon by 1.9 seconds. The incorrectly numbered Ryan Pasoko in the way of Roon, but it won't make a difference. Prince, with the skill and the speed, he was hunting down Perrin Huggins. Huggins throws in the towel, waves the white flag, but the white flag for Prince will turn into the checkered flag. Off of turn number 4, Jake Prince wins round 10 in the Heartland. A well-fought victory for Jake Prince. Unofficially, he's got the win. Mackenzie Roon finishes in the silver medal position. Cody Johnson in third, up 12 places from where he started this race. And what a dominant performance from Jacob Prince, leading a minimal amount of laps, but enough to get the victory. A well-earned victory as well for Prince in the 9. And a bit of a Polish victory lap and a little more smoke being thrown up by car number 9. He's earned it. So Jake Prince will celebrate. We're going to gather our top 3. Prince, Roon, Johnson in the podium. Fans at home, don't go anywhere. You're going to want to hear these interviews in just a moment. Your winner tonight at Kansas, Jake Prince. On the podium now with two of our top three, starting with our silver medalist tonight, Mackenzie Roon in the number 11 Dorchester Toyota. Mac, great run tonight, silver medal, and you're going to bump yourself up to 7th in the regular season point standings with 2 races to go. How was your run?
Yeah, it was a good one. I played the long game. I was running fourth, I think fourth, fifth, sixth with Cody Johnson, I think Terry N. And, I had no idea we were making so much pace up. I think it's because we pitted a little later and had a little fresher tires there at the end. And then, when I saw, P3 in front of us and then maybe something happened to P2 or something, it was on. But I just didn't have the pace to catch Jacob there at the end.
Incredibly fast. And looking at these point standings, are you thinking more of your regular season standings, or are you just ready for the playoffs?
Oh no, I mean every race. It's every race. It's not about the end. It's about every single race. So, yep, thinking about next week already.
We'll see you in a week's time at Darlington. Congratulations on 2nd. Tonight's race winner in the number 9 Napa Night Vision Chevrolet won. Jake Prince getting another victory. This is your, according to the standings, your 5th win this season, which is fantastic. To how the standings have adjusted themselves. You've got yourself a 10-point advantage now after Huggins. We thought it was a DNF. He's run out of gas, Perrin Huggins does. So now you have where Huggins had over a 10-point advantage, you now have a 10-point lead with 2 races to go in the regular season.
Yeah, that was about as clutch a performance I could have. Kansas is one of my best tracks, and I played the long game tonight, like second place Mackenzie said. Just trying not to use up my stuff, and I could see those first 3 were pushing, and I knew if it went green, it was going to be tight on fuel, and Perrin pitted way early on that first cycle, so I didn't even worry about him after that while it was green. And then something happened with Dakota, I don't know. So after that, I was clutching going in the corner, just saving enough gas just in case there was a green white checkered. But glad to get another win. All these playoff points are going to matter. It's good to get the points lead back and get another Kansas win. That makes me 3 for 3 here in league. So good night for me.
Headed to Darlington next week. Are we going to see you win another race before the playoffs?
I hope so, but Darlington can be a bit of a wild card. It's my home track. I'm okay there. I'll run pretty good, but it's a tight racetrack. So if something happens in front of you and you have nowhere to go, you just never know. And then obviously you got Daytona. So I think tonight was the last track. That's more like a regular track that we go to. So it was really good to get good points tonight and go ahead and get my points lead back and get another 3 playoff points for winning.
We're going to see you in a week's time from Darlington, but for now, go ahead and celebrate, Jake. You've got the W.
Yeah, appreciate it, Rick.
Fans at home, a thrilling chapter of ENEA racing comes to a close yet again. And then in 1 week's time, we go to the Lady in Black. So stay tuned for that. You're going to see that on Atlanta Racing. As I won't be in commission, I'm still going to be recovering from the weekend at Darlington. And TNT will actually be there this week as well. So no TNT this week, as ARCS will take its yearly corporate trip to South Carolina this year. But do stay tuned to Rick James TV. We're going to have some stuff for you from South Carolina. But until that next race, everybody, please stay safe. Do take care of each other, and we will